Hi guys, welcome back to A Bookish Weekend. My name is Brooke and today we are doing my top 9 books of 2019. So going through my Goodreads reading challenge and the books that I read last year, I realised that there weren't actually that many books that left a lasting impact on me. And I'd say that these 9 books are the only ones that did leave a lasting impact on me. So I don't think all of these are 5 stars. But these are the ones that I would say are my favourites because I continue to think about them quite often. I'm going to go through them in the order that I've read them, from January to December and all of the months in between. And yeah, I hope maybe you could let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, or maybe you'll hear one that you like and you want to pick up, because I highly recommend all of these books. Also, I don't know how I feel about this look today. I don't know. I've done something new with my eye makeup and this hat I've never worn before, so we shall see. So the first book that left a lasting impact on me and that I think about a lot was, of course, Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. If I'm right saying this, I think this came out end of 2018. Or did it come out early 2019? I don't know. I think it came out late 2018 and I read it early 2019. This is the third and final book in the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. This book is part of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, as I'm sure most of you know if you've been on BookTube. This series follows Julie and Emma Blackthorne, who are both Shadowhunters, and it's entangled with their adventures of the Fae, and I can't even remember the plot to this trilogy. It has a lot of fairy politics and fairies in it, compared to the other Shadowhunter books. Shadowhunters are like half angelic, demon hunting humans. The end of this book left me shook. I can't wait for the Last Hours series. Is that what it's called? Or is it the one that is set after Queen of Air and Darkness? So not the one that's coming out, not Chain of Gold, the other series that's coming out later. Which follows after these events. I'm so excited to read that book because of the events in this one left me absolutely shook. I know some people were disappointed in this one because it relied a bit on nostalgia based on the Mortal Instruments series, which I do agree, but I think it was done really well and I really enjoyed it. Here's the boy. He's my buddy today. He's just sat on my bed chilling. And he's good, don't you, baby? Yes. The next book on this list is Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. This is a part of a duology. I have the sequel and I'm planning on reading it soon, hopefully maybe next month. This is a very wintry mountaineering fantasy book. It follows our main character, Kamzin, who wants to become a royal explorer, and she gets this opportunity to go exploring up the mountains and stop the witches from taking over, and it's basically that adventure. She has this cute little animal sidekick who is adorable. I'd say perhaps, I haven't read it, but if you've read the Golden Compass series, perhaps you'll like this one. I think it has similar vibes, at least from like the TV show and the movie, so maybe give this a go if you are a fan of that. The next one is Are We All Lemmings and Snowflakes by Holly Bourne. I was lucky enough to meet Holly Bourne and get this signed, and I told her how much this book means to me. It really changed my perspective on recovery and mental health. Recovery personally, I deal with mental health issues, and although I don't have the issues of the main character in this book, this main character has bipolar, it still really helped me. It's just an all-time favourite. This book follows Olive, who, as I said, has bipolar disorder, and she goes to this sort of in-treatment experimental place, and it's just about her learning to put herself first and just look after herself and recover from what she's gone through. I love Holly Bourne's writing. It's quick, it's easy, it's heart-wrenching. She's a UK author, so supporting that. But yeah, this book was just incredible. It has amazing characters, just brought a tear to my eye, honestly, and just, yeah, I wasn't expecting to love this as much as I did. Next, none of you will be surprised if you know me that this is on this list. This is now my favourite book of all time since reading it, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition that once again is signed. It's just, oh, this book. I'm sure you're all sick of people talking about this book, especially in their favourites of 2019. But I bought this book because I saw it in Waterstones and it was an exclusive signed edition. I was like, this is a really stupid reason to buy a book. But I was like, everyone's talking about it. I don't think I'm going to like it, but if I get it and get a signed copy, then maybe I could trade it or something. But I read it and absolutely loved it. So here we are. It's just, I like read it like 2.5 times so far. I will just go through and read random parts. Like, I have all of these tabs and like highlight bits and I'll just go through it and read it. But this book is told in like an audio interview style, and it's about the 70s rock band Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's about their rise and fall to fame, but it's so much more than that. This is an adult book, so I definitely say if you're a younger YA reader, this isn't for you, just because of some of the context in it. But of course everyone's individual, and I say it's still fine for older teenagers. It's easy to read, the characters are so flawed but so relatable, and it's just, there's one quote in this that just really sticks with me. I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's like, once you get away with something one time, the more you do it because there's no consequence or something like that. And it just, oh, it's had a big impact on me. So many of the quotes mean a lot to me. Yeah, it's just a favourite. The next book I read was another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Again, you're probably sick of people talking about this book. This was very popular in 2018. I picked it up after loving Daisy Jones. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as Daisy Jones, and Daisy Jones is still far superior because Daisy Jones is like up here, everything else is just down here. But I still absolutely adored this book. I understand the hype for this one just as much as I understand the hype for Daisy Jones. This one follows Evelyn Hugo is a film star, I believe in the 1920s in Hollywood. Oh no, 1950s, leaving show business in the 80s. And it's about this journalist who gets the opportunity to interview her, and it is told in parts about that journalist's interactions with Evelyn, as well as the actual biographical parts of it, not autobiography, sorry. And it's just, again, so well written, so poignant, so meaningful, and just incredible. Another one is one that made me sob, and that is The Places I've Cried in Public by Holly Bourne. A lot of books, especially contemporaries, if they get an emotional reaction out of me, then they will be my favourite, because that's just who I am as a person, I guess. But this one is about Amelie, and she fell hard for this boy called Reese. She thought their relationship was true love, but afterwards she finds out that it was something a bit more toxic. So it's about her like going through these places where significant moments happened in that relationship and reliving it. So it's told from her perspective after the breakup, when she's going through these places and reliving the moments. So it's her double guessing these moments and what they actually meant, not what she thought about them in the moment. That's such a good take on it, because trigger warning, this book deals with abusive relationships, rape, and that sort of stuff. And I think doing it in this reflective way allowed the actions that were taken not to be romanticised. And I thought this was really well done. This triggered a massive step in my recovery of mental health issues. It's made me very emotional, and it kind of messed me up for a little bit, but in a way that was necessary and that I needed, and that's why I'm so thankful for this book. But I am just saying, trigger warning, if you feel like this could maybe negatively affect you, just be careful. It does have trigger warnings at the book. It says The Places I've Cried in Public is a work of fiction, but it deals with many real issues, including controlling behaviour and sexual assault. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I loved this book and it has helped me so much. Next is a book I got because of the author. I had no idea what it was actually about, and that is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I can never pronounce his last name correctly, I'm sorry. This is a big boy, compared to Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you don't know, this is the same author that wrote Perks, which is one of my all-time favourite books. It used to have the #1 spot before I read Daisy Jones, which is why I got this one. I believe this one's signed as well, which is another reason I got it, because I just wanted a signed Stephen Chbosky book. Yeah. And this is an adult psychological thriller. I don't think I've ever read an adult psychological thriller before, so this was my first step into it. I read it physically as well as audibly. I switched between the two just because it was, you know, my first time into adult thrillers. I thought that'd be an easier way for me to consume it. But I love this. I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe. Yeah, I think I gave this 4 stars, but I still think about it a lot, so maybe it should have been a 5-star, I don't know. But this is about a boy called, I'm really bad at remembering names, I can't remember. This is about like a 7-year-old boy, around that age anyway, and he gets lost in the woods in this new town, and then he comes back and he's just super talented at everything. He sees this man that no one else sees, and he tells him to make a treehouse in the forest, and so he does, and it's like this portal to a different world. It's creepy, it's weird, I loved it. This has got me wanting to read more psychological thrillers and more thrillers, and just I adored this book. I'm into thrillers. Maybe, I don't know if this is unique or not. To me, I hadn't read anything like it before. I liked that it was kind of speculative. I'd say it's psychological thriller. Goodreads put it on the horror list, so maybe it's a mix of both, but I loved it, so yeah. Number 8 on this list is a book that I've mentioned in some of my other videos, and that is Deep Light by Frances Hardinge. I got this in a Book Box Club box. Had never heard of it before and never really paid much attention to this author, but she has quickly become one of my favourite authors. Since reading this, I've decided to read all of her books that I can get my hands on, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. The cover is gorgeous, which made me pick it up so quickly, and it has like these illustrations on the end pages, and it's just such a gorgeous book that I had to pick it up straight away. I'm obsessed with the ocean. It's like my thing, in case you can't tell by the new theming of my channel. I just love the ocean, and so this book was perfect for me. It's about this guy called Hark and his best friend Jelt, and they're scavengers on this island where in the world where gods used to rule, like sea gods. They lived at the very bottom of the sea, and they sort of like had priests that went and talked to the gods, and then these gods fell, and so now people scavenge godsware to make money. But then one day they get themselves in a bit of trouble, and something weird starts happening to his best friend Jelt, and it's just, again, kind of creepy and weird, but I loved everything about it. I love the good guy turns bad thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but like when someone just can't help turning bad, or like turning into a monster or something, I love that. Thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I just recommend. I've only read 2 of her books so far, but Frances Hardinge's writing is just amazing. She's a YA author, I believe. Some people say it's middle grade, I'd say it's YA. But yeah, she's so captivating, and the atmosphere in her books that I've read so far are just all absolutely brilliant. So highly recommend this. And then the 9th book and last book on this list is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 2nd book in the Skyward trilogy, I believe it's going to be. I loved Skyward the year before, 2018, so I had to pick this one up. Again, I believe it might be signed because I pre-ordered it. Yeah, there we go. And this was just an amazing sequel, I think. At first I had my doubts, but the more I got into it, the more I absolutely enjoyed it. I think it could possibly be better than the first one, just because it expands the world a lot more, and adds all of these extra complexities. And I think the commentary it has on certain subjects is just really good. Skyward basically follows Spencer, and she lives on this planet that is constantly getting attacked by these other aliens called the Krell, and so the military is really like celebrated on her planet, but her dad was a really famous pilot, but then he ran away during a fight, and he has been renowned as a coward. And Spencer really wants to become a pilot to be like her dad, but she has some difficulties at first because of her father's reputation. And it's about her trying to become a pilot, being in pilot school, and she finds this mysterious thing in the caves that sort of help her along the way. I loved this. I loved the characters in this book. This is the only series I've read of Brandon Sanderson, and I think his writing is really easy to consume in this series. If you're not a big sci-fi fan but want to get into it more, I definitely recommend this one because it's not too complicated or confusing. The creatures in it and just everything. It has a funny AI character. So if you liked Aiden from the Illuminae, that's how I call him, it might be Aiden, I don't know. But if you like Aiden from the Illuminae series, then you might enjoy a certain aspect of this one. And that is the top 9 books of 2019. I hope you enjoyed this video. I loved all of these books. I loved just going down this lane and reminiscing about all of them, because obviously it's been a while since I read some of them. And maybe you would like to pick some of these up, and if you do, let me know. These books, guys, I love them with my whole heart, so please give them a go if they sound interesting. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and hit that like button down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Been on my own, trying to find my way home.